If violent means acting in ways that result in hurt or harm, then much of how we communicate could indeed be called violent communication. Marshall Rosenberg. Let's get it going.
Welcome to the NVC for Kids podcast, where we unpack and examine relationship-based classroom practices. A classroom where there is no judgment, blame, or punishment for those whose behavior is not supporting our agreed-upon values. Instead, there's an intent to identify and address the needs behind the behavior, replacing power over others with power with others. And now your host, Jose Flores.
Hey everyone, my name is Jose Flores and welcome to the NVC for Kids podcast, episode 1. Of all the topics I teach about, today's topic is closest to my heart because it saved my relationship with my kids. It gave me a concrete language to use to connect with myself and others. And it shifted my attention in ways that would transform my relationships with my students, my colleagues, friends, family, everyone. This will change your life. The topic is nonviolent communication, or NVC for short, by Marshall Rosenberg. Now, to give you a better understanding of NVC, I want to share with you first what my life was like before NVC. Then how I got started using NVC with one of my own children and what that experience taught me. And last, I want to share what with you my plans for this podcast and the resources and tools I hope to share with you. In fact, I have a free download for you today. It's a practice guide that shows you the NVC process. It gives you sentence stems that you can get started using, and it has a bank of feelings and needs to develop your vocabulary around feelings and needs, which is one of the first steps of communicating nonviolently. I wish I had this practice guide when I first started practicing NVC. In episode notes, just click show and it'll show you a summary of the episode, and then there'll be a link that says free download. Click that link and I'll send you over that practice guide right away. Now, my life before NVC, let's break that down. So before NVC, I was a classroom teacher and a parent that believed in rewards and punishments. If my kids or my students did what I asked or I liked, I would reward them. I would give them a pizza party or a tickets or a gift. And if they didn't do what I asked or liked, I would punish them. And unfortunately, I would do this for years before realizing how damaging it was. I really started to use nonviolent communication at a time when I was having difficulty with my 17-year-old daughter. She wasn't doing her homework. She admitted to smoking weed and was caught sneaking out of the house on weekends. I spent a lot of time punishing, threatening, and arguing with her. I took her phone, I grounded her on weekdays and weekends, and denied her any car privileges. As time went on, I realized that the punishments that may have worked when she was a small child were no longer working. She stopped talking to me, and notes from school about her skipping class continued to come in. Punishment wasn't working. But I firmly believed that I was doing the right thing. Yet when I tried to talk with her, she would roll her eyes as if to say, "Who would want to listen to you?" My own child was treating me like an enemy. What I learned was that I was engaging in these disconnecting relationship habits. I was criticizing her, blaming her, complaining, threatening, punishing, bribing her to try to control her. I also learned that all of these disconnecting relationship habits was based off this theory called external control psychology. And without getting too theoretical about it, it basically states that we punish the people who are doing wrong so that they will do what we think is right. And then we reward them so that they keep doing what we think is right. This premise dominates the thinking in most schools and parenting education. It's sad. NVC showed me that there was a better way. Remembering that words matter. That at the root of every feeling, there is a met or unmet need. That we can choose a way of communicating that leads us closer to the people we love. And that way starts by refusing to use external controls to manipulate or coerce our loved ones or students. So for me, there was no more criticizing, blaming, complaining, nagging, threatening, punishing, or trying to bribe her. Just doing that, and that step alone lifted so much pressure off of me. But I still needed a way to negotiate our differences. And that's where NVC saved me. I would invest time to develop a rich and deep vocabulary of feelings and needs. And I'm continuously learning how to. But this was the game changer for me. And it was the biggest contributor to my social and emotional growth. I now had a language to honestly express myself to others and to empathetically receive messages from others. I saw the effects immediately. I tried harder to empathize with my daughter's needs for autonomy and independence, negotiated our differences, and I listened much more. Today, our relationship is stronger than it's ever been. My daughter's Penelope is just one example of how NVC has transformed the relationships in my life. And in this podcast, I plan to share with you exactly how I am using NVC both as a parent and a classroom teacher. I want to provide tools and lessons learned that you can use immediately in your classroom or with your children. Last, I want to form a community that is committed to helping every teacher, parent, and child stay compassionate with themselves, the people around them, and those they love. You are that community, and I hope that you join me on this amazing journey. Please feel free to reach out to me with questions or scenarios that you are experiencing. Together, we will sharpen our nonviolent communication skills and grow. My email is also in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you next week. Same time, same place. Take care.